It's now Thursday and I'm back at this huge workshop clean out I've been doing Tuesday, Wednesday morning, that was yesterday, Thursday morning this morning, and we're getting somewhere. Hey guys, Chris the Ultimate Recycler. Thanks for your comments on all the other videos, and there's been some really good help on identifying things, so I really appreciate that. I've almost finished cleaning off this big bench this morning. I want to get some photographs of it done before I go back home for lunch, and then probably list it on Facebook, and it might be only 50 bucks. I don't know, I'll work that out, but I want it to go. Let's go and have a look. The shed's getting more and more of an echo, which is great to hear. There's less junk to absorb the sound. Have a look at the bench. I've just been tinkering here for an hour this morning. I really enjoy sorting stuff. It's kind of almost hypnotic. It's like if you tip out an assorted box of nuts and bolts and screws and nails and things and just sorting them into their particular styles. It's yeah, it's quite therapeutic, I think. Very relaxing. So I'm trying not to waste too much time doing that here. I am just really sorting between useful bits and pieces and tools. Have a look at some of these drill bits. Brand new, never been used. There's so many drill bits in this shed. More in here. I even found a present for Coco. She'll enjoy that. Good old Australian football. It's only the mini one, and it is flat, but whether it's flat or pumped up, I think she'll enjoy it. Haven't heard on the phone and those other batteries. That's just the one pretend one that was here. I'm not worried about that. If it doesn't materialise, I will adjust the price. I've also been dodging wildlife. Where's this guy gone? I think this is a redback, even though it doesn't have a red back. I suspect the male ones are the ones that don't have red on their back, but it's certainly the right sort or the right body shape. I'm certainly not going to pick it up, but I'm not going to kill him. He can wander away. There's quite a lot of them in this shed. I'm not seeing any larger spiders, the big huntsmen, which we usually see in sheds, and I'm not seeing any of the black house spiders, the big, big chunky muscly ones that look like they could grab you by the boot and twist your knee until you fall over and then jump on you. No, they're not quite that bad in Australia, but yeah, just a lot of little ones. So I'm going to have lots of these just hardware assortments to sort out later, but I can do that in the shop. I don't have a problem with that. It's kind of fun, as I just explained. Got a tube of the AutoSol metal polish here, and that's fairly expensive stuff, I think. So that's good. I'll keep that one. Just about finished this bench, as you can see, and it is a large bench. I'll measure it up soon. I'll take some photos. I might put it on Facebook for $100 perhaps. It's only got a chipboard top, but it is the proper flooring rather than just your thin, flimsy chipboard. And the frame is very solid hardwood. It's had some little holders here for tools, but I've pulled out a lot of the other nails. It's a great bench for the right shed. It's too big for my shed, and I wouldn't be able to move it, so I will advertise it as it is, where it is. Bring your strong friends and come and take it away. And I think probably just $100. It's nearly $100 worth of firewood. I've got to clean out underneath. I haven't really looked underneath. I don't think there's much under there. We'll get to that shortly. And we've done that bench where all the jars were yesterday. I'll probably start on this one a little bit. We're not moving the back bench, as I've mentioned. So I think we'll knock over the rest of it fairly quickly. Thursday today. I may not be back this afternoon, and we'll be in the shop over the weekend, although I could indeed come out while Christine runs the shop. But I think I'll leave the rest of it maybe until next week, when Steve, my son's, coming to help me move some of the heavier things, and hopefully I can arrange to meet someone here to pick up the big workbench. I have not opened that bin. I don't know if it's full of rubbish. I don't know if it has probably empty jars in it. Maybe it's full of drill bits. I'll get to that shortly in this video. We'll have a look in there together. That console radio, very hard to sell those things. People collect valve radios, yes, but they collect the mantle ones, the Bakelite radios, the little timber, things that can go on a shelf. These big console radios are pieces of furniture. And whilst they do look fantastic restored, there's very few people that actually collect them. So I think that's the unit out of it. It looks to be complete. It might be good for parts, but, someone might like to restore this. It doesn't appear to be overly damaged. I might put that on Facebook for $50 and see if someone can come and pick it up. We'll do the same with these benches once I get these cleaned up, these little pigeonholes. So I'm relying on a lot of buyers to come out here and grab stuff themselves. I can meet them out here, I can help them load, That way I don't have to worry about any storage. I suspect that is an air conditioner, which I might take to the scrapyard next time I'm going. So, all right, I better get to work. We'll point out anything good I find in this episode. Hopefully I find a few more little treasures, and we'll look in that wheelie bin down there and see what's in it. Another hour has passed. I'm making some good progress again. I'll show you in a second. I've just cleaned off the top of this bin and I have not lifted the lid. Found a few little good things on top of the bin. Lots of new old stock spark plugs. Well, that one may have been used, but I've been finding a lot of new ones, and you know they're not cheap items to buy these days. Spark plugs. I think no, these might be the used ones. Yeah, definitely been used. But there was a box of new ones on the other bench. These two bearings would be expensive. They're the self-centering bearings, brand new in box. Timken, very good quality bearings, so they wouldn't be cheap. There's two of those there, so I'm getting a lot of that sort of hardware that will sell well through the shop. Enough about that. Let's have a look. I suspect I'm going to be disappointed, but you might as well share my disappointment. It's, oh, look at that. It's rubbish. Who would have thought there'd be rubbish in the rubbish bin? Is that rubbish? It looks all rubbish. Mind you, I'll probably go through this because Transformer is much better than rubbish. So we will scan this. There's cords in here. There's probably going to be, well, there is a lot of rubbish, but all right, that is disappointing. However, we will get something out of that before it just goes to the tip. Is that copper pipe? No, plastic. All right, enough of that. We can rummage in there another time. Let's go and have a look at the bench. I have totally cleaned it off. How's that look? Magnificent. There's a few things I'll show you over there in a minute. Swept out underneath. It measures 10 feet 6 inches by 4 feet across. I didn't measure it in metric. Sorry for you guys that always work in metric. I still kind of measure a lot in imperial. It's a big bench. So I'm going to take some photos before I go today and put that on the local Facebook groups. I might try it at $100. I don't know. I mean, I don't really need to get anything for it, but I'll give it a day or so at $100. Then I might drop it to $50. If any of you guys are interested in it and live close enough to come and pick it up, you can have it for free if it's still available. I probably won't get this video up for a couple of days from now, so you may miss out. But if it's still there, any YouTube subscribers are welcome to have it for free. You have to bring a couple of friends to lift it because I'm not lifting it. Underneath it, I found these wheels. They're brand new tyres. They've got a disc brake disc on them, but they're actually the same wheels I use on my furniture trolleys. So new bearings, and they're much better bearings than the bearings you get on the cheap trolleys. So I'll probably use them on my trolleys. I don't think I need disc brakes on my trolleys. I don't push things around that fast. Likewise, I probably don't need a clutch on my trolley. But these are all clutches off various machinery. The guy did make some railway stuff. I think he made one of those locomotives that your kids can have a ride on. So, you know, the larger model trains. And he was into all sorts of stuff. Some of these I think are off old lawnmowers. It's obviously a chain drive. I don't know what that one is, but they're clutches off things. They should sell quite well. And there's various adapters for them. There's a motor out of a washing machine, lots of nice copper there. I'll just be putting that straight in electric motors. So I'm not going to spend the time trying to get the copper wire out of it. But the bench is great. There's some big sheets of flooring chipboard underneath that aren't attached. They're just sitting there. And the top is pretty good, really. So great workbench for someone. What else have we got going on? Well, there's not much left to go. We're nearly at the back of the shed. I have swept down around the bench here. If I spin around slowly so you don't get motion sickness. So our cleaning is gradually creeping around across the shed. I think it was Kale said I'm like an opposite tornado. I sort of rush through an area and leave it neat and organised behind me instead of destruction. So I'm happy to be called an opposite tornado. That's a good call, mate. Okay, I am going to, what am I going to do? I've got about half an hour till I have to go for lunch. I might just start cleaning that cabinet out. I might take a picture of that one and someone can have it for free. It's actually a good hardwood frame. So it might be useful. If I can't get anyone to take it, I'll probably knock it apart, because the hardwood I'll either use for firewood or reuse for something at home, although it's probably only firewood by the time I broke it up. And the chipboard shelves are no good. They'll probably end up, I think we'll end up having a bonfire here once the old guy moves out, because I have a feeling I'm going to have a job doing the house as well now. So, oh yeah, a couple of other things to show you. One outside. Let's go for a quick walk. In a little shed down the back here, there's a 3-point linkage slasher. It's obviously very rusted out, but the gearbox looks like it might be all right. It's got a couple of adjustable jockey wheels on the front. There's some really good trailing pivoting wheels. So there's some value here, but if the gearbox is okay, the frame looks solid. Anyone handy with a welder could put new sheet metal panels in that and have themselves a very good slasher. So the nephew said I'm right to get rid of this one too if I want. I've taken some photos. I'm going to put it on Facebook. I actually thought I'd just put $50 on it and see if someone can come and pick it up and take it away. Again, if you're watching this video and there hasn't been a note about it being sold, send me a message if you're local and might still be here. Underneath that grass and other growth, there's a go-kart frame, which I can take as well. And I just realised it actually still has a motor. It looks like an old Briggs & Stratton. Yeah, it is. An old Briggs & Stratton. It doesn't look... Oh, what's going on here? Oh no, the top's still on it. The cowling's come off. Wouldn't that be a challenge? If I was short on projects, I could challenge myself to get that motor running. Don't think we'll get to that stage. I'll probably just sell the go-kart as a rolling frame, and it'd be a good basis for someone to have as a project. Our firewood pile's building up, and a lot of cardboard, and I've got some better timber to take home, and our scrap metal pile's building up. I'm taking all the steel posts and whatnot back to the shop, and some good frames there. More plumbing fittings accumulating here, and that conduit pipe, I'll probably give that away. But I'm not worried about that for now, and that won't matter if it gets wet either. So we'll wander back in the shed. What am I going to do? I've got about half an hour to go. All right, I might try and empty the old lawnmowers out of that, or lawnmower engines out of that cupboard there, that bench, and then perhaps I'll do a photo of that too and try and give it away. Okay, I got a little distracted and I didn't get back to this. I have to go in about 5 minutes, so we'll start doing those engines next trip out here. I did find a couple of other little things. Interestingly, I found the rego for the bike, and it's listed as a 1980 Honda Solo X, and yet I found an owner's manual for a Honda bike, and it actually is the same. This is the original purchaser, I guess, and it's the same engine number and VIN, and that's dated 1981 CB250T, which is the bike. So I will check the numbers on the bike. However, they're the same in this book as to what they are on the rego, but this calls it a 1980, and this calls it a 1981. So interesting. But anyway, I've got the book for it. That's cool. I'll keep those just for reference for now. I just finished telling you I found a lot of new spark plugs, and then I went straight in to show you second-hand ones. These are all new. I just found these after I'd shown you the other ones. So brand new Champion and NGK spark plugs. There's some pretty good value there, and they're quite easy to sell. I have packed up a few other good value things. There's a whole heap of G-clamps in here. I think that some of these are quite new, and they're not a cheap one. They're a Fuller brand. There's a new trailer pull. So some good value there as well. I'll take that with me now. I've just been packing up the last of the boxes and moving a little bit more timber to the burning pile. You can see we've got a nice large expanse of empty shed now. It's looking great. The rubbish pile. Now, hands up who looked in this shed when I first showed you and said, oh look, there's probably 2, maybe 3 skips worth of rubbish. That's all we've got so far. The carpet tiles were under the big workbench. I didn't know they were there. And basically the rest of it is just stuff that I can't avoid taking to the tip because it is genuine rubbish. But then we're separating the recyclables, we're separating the firewood, we're separating the scrap metal, and I'm taking a lot of stuff back that I see value in that a lot of other people wouldn't. Okay, that will do for now. I've chosen another favourable angle to show you for my sign off. The shed's looking great. It's coming along well. I've done I think 9 hours. No, we're probably up to 12 hours. I'm just keeping track of my time, and as you saw, I'm not working flat chat. I like to take my time to sort things. Because I don't have a huge storage area to take it all, it would be a bit different if we did have a storage unit, or if this had to be emptied very fast because the property had been sold or something. In that case, I would probably have the whole shed done in a couple of days. But I'm taking my time, but I'm still really happy with my progress. I hope you're enjoying the journey. Thanks for watching. I'm totally forgotten what part we're up to, but I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.